The main reason it feels impossible to let go is that you're holding on so tight to the past. You're reliving every memory in your head. You're staying stuck when you should be moving forward. The main reason being you spent a lot of time with this person, likely shared things you never shared with anyone else. They knew you inside out. They almost became a part of who you are. And that shift isn't easy to let go of. It takes time to adjust because you've spent so much time with someone that you've become synced. Maybe the behaviors, the activities that you participated in, your hobbies, your interests, music taste. And while all those things may seem small, they all add up. And it makes you feel like you're still interlinked. You get frequent thoughts about them constantly. You're thinking about what are they doing or how are they feeling, what I wonder where they're at in life. You almost hold on to the past because you're so stuck thinking about what you lost. But I want to give you a quick perspective shift because this is what helped me in the past when I tried to move on. So instead of thinking about what went wrong, instead of thinking about how they feel or why everything happened the way it did, see it as a lesson, see it as a learning curve. Instead of thinking about the past, instead of thinking about what you could have done differently or what you perhaps contributed towards the end, think about it as a lesson. I really do understand and I have empathy for how hard it is to go through heartbreak because it really does take time. And right now you're probably thinking that it can't get better. We really just don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. But I promise you now, it does get better. And it gets better quick. You probably spend most mornings waking up thinking about them. The last thoughts before you go to sleep at night are probably also them. But one day you'll wake up and you'll realize that you didn't think about them. You went your whole day, you did your usual activities. Maybe you went to work, maybe you went to class, and you realize that you didn't actually think about them. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It means that your brain has started to differentiate from the past to now your present. It's adapting, it's learning that this is your life now. This is who you are. You are present with yourself. And that in itself is a blessing. So I think the main reason it's hard for you to let go, or the reason it feels impossible, is because you're holding on to what was. And that's nothing to be ashamed about because it just shows that how much you loved and how much you were invested. But you do need to wake up one day and decide that no, today is going to be about me. And I think from that day onwards, it becomes a lot easier. I really hope that this was helpful in some way. I know this is probably one of the most difficult times of your life, especially if this was like a long-term relationship or someone that you just cared about deeply. But it does get better. I promise you it does. I've been in some very, very shitty situations and come out of them 10 times stronger. So I genuinely believe you can do the same. Just look after yourself, you know? Stop thinking about everyone else. Don't think about the past as a mistake. Don't think of it as something you could have done better, because that's only going to hold you back. You did the best you could with what you knew, and that's all you can do. So moving forward, heal, look after yourself, think about yourself, and what's right will come your way.